Welcome to IROC Business with Confidence, the podcast where passion meets profit without the pressure of a big price tag. I'm your host, Corey Fonville Foster, transformational speaker, certified business coach, trainer, and the CEO behind the mic. In every episode, we dive deep into the heart of entrepreneurship, bringing you stories, strategies, and tips to monetize your passions while maintaining your budget. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or looking to scale up, this is your go-to resource for affordable sales and marketing strategies. Join us as we interview small business experts from around the globe, sharing their journeys, challenges, and the solutions that propelled them to success. IROC Business with Confidence podcast is here to demystify the process of running a successful business on a budget. Get ready to transform your entrepreneurial dreams into reality, one episode at a time. Hello. Welcome back to IROC Business with Confidence podcast. I am your host, Corey Fonville Foster, and I'm so excited for the talk that we are going to be having today. As I told you in the beginning of season 3, this was going to be different. We were going to bring you some amazing experts that encompass so many different fields. And today is no different. We have with us Danielle Smith-Brent, who is I'm going to give her a whole title. I want the whole thing. So Danielle Smith-Brent, she is a woman. She's a serial entrepreneur, right? She owns, she's a certified women-owned business owner. She's an educator. She's an investor. And I'm just so excited to have her today. A little bit about her is that she embarked in her entrepreneurial journey during the financial industry in 2014, driven by a mission to help individuals protect their assets, accumulate wealth, and maintain a healthy mind, body, and soul. Alongside her husband, also an investor, Danielle has ventured into asset management and real estate, further solidifying her footprint as in the investment landscape. She is a wife and mother of 4, and she's committed to financial education. She has worked with hundreds of individuals, breaking down complex financial concepts into understandable and actionable strategies. So join me in welcoming Danielle. Hi. I am so excited. I could have said more and more, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna let her say a little bit about herself before I give it all away. So welcome, Danielle, to the podcast again. I'm so excited to have you because we know we want to make money, right? But we don't always know what to do with that money. We don't know how to diversify our portfolio. We don't know how to protect the money that we do have. So I'm so excited that we can kind of talk a little bit about that today, but also how to, on the flip side, take care of ourselves, right? Take care of our health in order to enjoy those assets that we've accumulated. So if you could please kind of introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little bit about how you got into entrepreneurship.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But first, let me just say thank you so much for having me, allowing me to be here. I appreciate you just allowing me to just be able to bless your platform. I am so honored, definitely. But I got into this space and the entrepreneurship journey first with becoming a financial advisor. So being in the situation of being a life insurance agent, and I have all my life insurance licenses. So, all my licenses, not just life, but all 4 lines, working on investments next, so that I will be an investment advisor and not just a financial advisor. But I got into that space back in 2014 in April. So this coming April makes 10 years me being in the industry, which is a huge accomplishment. Yes. So I'm super excited about that. And to still be in the industry is probably like the most important thing to me. And it's just like, wow, you've been here for almost 10 years, educating families, helping people really build that foundation. So that was the bark of my entrepreneurship journey. Doing that, like granted, in the meantime, I still kind of maintained a part-time job or did other things on the side while I was a financial advisor back in 2014. I was a single mom at the time, so still trying to figure out life around that time in 2014. I was young. So yes, I was not only just doing financial services and helping families, but I was doing a lot of other things at the same time. But that was my passion. So I knew that was something that really touched my heart, that I really enjoyed doing. I really enjoyed talking to families about what they could do to grow wealth. And and also educating them that it didn't only take them to die to build wealth. So that was really important for me. So in the midst of me doing that, seeing all these families coming across them, explaining to them how to build wealth, I kept hearing them complain about this one particular thing that kept just like festering through all of my meetings. And they all said the same thing. They told me that they wish they would have learned the things that I was teaching them when they were in school. So I said, okay, if almost every one of my meetings that I have, I hear this. This is coming up like it's a topic. Like I'm naming a topic for my meetings, and this is just coming up at each meeting. I said, okay, Danielle, you have to do something about this. So I birthed my first baby, my first business, which was Creative Connections. And that's a nonprofit organization where we teach the youth and adults as well, but we primarily, our target audience is going to be our youth. And that's grades from K through 12th grade, about how to stop violence. That's the number one thing that we work for. So it's violence prevention, but we use tools like economic opportunities in order to teach and show our youth how to slow down violence. And with those opportunities, not only things like financial literacy, but one as well as capture what we're talking about today. So that's some of those things that we talk about in our program that we teach our youth. We teach them. We start all of our classes with my nonprofit with mindset. We start with that mindset and mindfulness. So we meditate. We start off class with a guided meditation to let the youth know that our mental capacity is very important, as well as the things that we put inside of our bodies are also very important. No matter if you're consuming them by listening to them, by watching them, or putting them inside of your mouth, these are all forms of receiving information and receiving things. And some things are not or should not be inside of we should not come in contact with. So we educate our youth on those things. We educate them on insurance. So life insurance, all types of insurance. So we're going to be growing and teaching them how to build up wealth. We also have to teach them how to protect that wealth. And we let them know that they're assets, and we tell them to treat themselves like assets. So we go through we have a ton of programs through our nonprofit. Real estate, we do banking, credit, business ownership. We have an investment space, and we have a course called The Real World of Money, where we teach them about the banking and about budgeting and savings, and about resume writing and getting prepared for a job, careers, things of that nature. And then our number one, the one that we feel like is the most important, is our health and wellness class. That is a class as well within our organization. So that was the reason why I created that business, because I wanted to make sure that I can teach our youth at the youth age, at the age, grade school age, what it was like to build wealth.
Wow, that is amazing. And I want you guys to start seeing a common thread as we talk to different guests, because oftentimes I get clients that come to me and they're like, I'm not sure what to sell. Guys, sometimes it's just organic. Sometimes you fall into it, you see there's a gap in the market. That's how my business was started. And that sounds like that's how Danielle's was started. It was like, if there's a common challenge that people keep asking you to solve and you can solve it, then that's your business right there. There's your product. And I love that. And I also like that your journey, we have a lot in common. I was a single mom in 2011, and I was like, yeah, we got to do something out here in the streets. So I love that that's a part of your story. And you developed, like nonprofit is just one aspect, y'all. I don't know if y'all was listening carefully. You got that for the kids, but she also has for adults, and then they do a lot of other things. But I love that you are tackling them when they are young, because you're right. Like if we would have known the things that we know now when we were younger, just think how further along we would be. And just speaking true for a fact for a second, especially in the Black community, because we don't have necessarily, a lot of us don't have the opportunity or the privilege to have generations of people who have gone through it that can tell us how to own a house, what life insurance we should be having, how to manage our finances, how to build wealth. We don't have it. So to have organizations, to have amazing experts, she said she got all the certifications. I love that. But yeah, to have an expert come and say, you know what, I got you. I'll offer this not just to the adults who've already made a whole bunch of mistakes and got to clean up some things, but also to catch them before they even have the finances. So when they get them, they're equipped to know how to do it. I think that's just amazing. So kudos to you, your husband, your team, for really getting in that gap and building wealth within our own community. So part of wealth isn't just finances, right?
Oh,
Part of wealth has to do with our health, right? Because if we can make all the money in the world, but if we sick, if we tired, if we're burnt out, then we cannot enjoy that wealth. So I love a part of what you do really focuses not just on the money, but the mind, the body, and the soul. So tell me a little bit about what are your thoughts around, wealth and health and how they kind of intersect.
oh, they go hand in hand. I tell my students this all the time that you can make a ton of money, but if you're not healthy and you're not okay, that money it can be either passed down to someone or it can become a part of the government or somebody else's estate, and they have ownership of it, and then you never see it, or your family member or loved ones never see it. So then that's the reason why we start our classes with mindset. We started with mental health. We start with breath. We talk about these things because this is very important in any industry. I know every industry that there is an industry. People have to be okay to get up and show up for work. I don't care what your industry is. And we all know so well, and I don't know if statistics show it a lot, but a lot of people in the healthcare industry, I'm going to speak on them because I've watched a ton of TV and I know a ton of people in the healthcare industry. A lot of them make a lot of money, but a lot of them don't have a lot of financial knowledge. And a lot of them are some of the most unhealthy people that I know. Some of the most unhealthy people. They do not have normal rituals. They do not practice eating properly because they work so many hours a lot of the time. They pretty much snack on the wrong things daily. They don't have a morning routine or ritual that they are living by because they're too busy trying to help other people. Now, we love that they want to help everybody. It's beautiful, but we can't help anybody until we are able to help ourselves. My favorite thing that I've learned with flying, so they say when you get on the plane, every time you get on the plane, they tell you when those masks come down. And they say if you have a baby sitting on your lap, moms or dads, you put your mask, you secure it on your face first, and then you attach it to that baby. So we treat our programs the same exact way when it comes to health and wealth, because without the health part, if we're not putting our mask on first, we can't help anybody else. We can grow all these assets and have all this money, but what's the point if you can never enjoy it? If you can't give back to your community, if you can't touch and help someone else that's in need because you lost your life because you were not okay. People are killing themselves daily. I'm seeing so many people in the industries, adults, women, so many people, especially Black women that are just committing suicide, killing themselves because they are unhappy. So we have to get to the root problem, and something that me and my husband have been going by and we've been practicing has been this word called balance. I don't know if people understand what that word means, and balance is going to look different for everybody. It's going to look different for everybody, but your mind and your body are connected. We know that, right? And then we have a 3-legged stool that my husband and I, we talk about when it comes to our balance. The first one is that mind and that body. That's our first leg. Our second leg is our soul. And then our last one is our spirit. So what are we doing to align, to keep that balance, to keep that stool afloat? How do you keep your balance? Everybody's balance is going to look a little different. Mine's not going to look like yours not going to look like mine. But go along and figure out what your 3-legged stool is. Figure out what are you doing to keep your mind and your body okay. Write down some things. I challenge anybody listening today. So write down at least 3 things that connects you, that helps you to keep your mind and your body connected. And keep, whether that's eating healthy, eliminating sugar out your diet, taking some meat out the plate for a day or two. See, trying something different, understanding that sacrifices definitely is going to help you get to the next level. But then when you get to that second stool and you get to that soul, what are you doing to honestly feed your soul? What makes you happy? These are things that I live by. You have to know what those things are. Find 3 things. Name 3 things that feed your soul. And then the last is your spirit. Are you spiritually connected? Do you have a community of people, like-minded individuals that's coming together, that's helping you? You have a faith. Are you practicing meditation, or what are you doing? What are your 3 things that's helping you align with your spirit? And that's the balance. That's how we align health and how we align wealth. Because again, without the 2, what's the point of wealth if we don't have health?
You dropped a word there. I was like, okay. All right. Pass the plate. Okay, I was there. I loved everything you said because it all rings true. I think because I work with so many entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs that are passion-driven and cause-driven, they're always trying to help others. And I'm like, you gotta take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. I work with mostly women, and a lot of them are mothers and wives. I'm always reminding them, you got to take care of yourself, because you're constantly pouring into other people. And when that cup is empty and you're like, dang, I have nothing, and you're wondering why you're struggling to get energy to do anything and to find motivation and to push yourself and to grow as an individual, it's because you done gave everything away. It's like, you gotta take care of yourself. So I love that. I get on planes too, and they're like, yeah, get yourself together, because if you pass out, you can't do nothing for nobody else. So I loved all that, and I love the idea of that three-legged stool, because yeah, you may have the body part done, but you don't have nobody around you to support you, and you're gonna fall over, because it's gonna be hard. There are gonna be challenges that you face that are gonna be just too much for one person. Entrepreneurship's already lonely enough, but if you have that support team, if you have the foundations of your business, if you have, the things in place to make sure that you are doing all right, then you're more likely to be able to sustain. But we're just meeting now, but I have something I teach my clients about that I do every single week. It's called a high maintenance to low maintenance day, where at least once a week, it's usually on Sunday, I try to set myself up for success. I try to give myself a little love and self-care, and just, any errands, housekeeping, whatever I got to do, because during the week I want to be able to pour into my audience, and I don't want to have to say, well, dang, I got to cook, or I need to work out, or I need to clean my house, or I didn't even get a bubble bath this week. Like, what is there for me? So I encourage you, that may not be your thing, like Danielle said, find something that works for you. But I know that it's worked for me. I've been doing it for over a year now. I'm not a morning girl, so I don't have a strong morning routine, but I'm gonna work on it. But yeah, find what works for you, and it'll help you. Now, before we got on this podcast today, I did a little research, and I saw, because I read the book, The 5 Love Languages, but apparently there's another, and your love language is financial literacy. I love that. So tell me a little bit, because I know it's such a broad topic, and there's so much I'm sure you could talk on for hours, but give me maybe 3 starting points for financial literacy. Like, what should we know as we embark on understanding the concept of financial literacy?
First, we have to understand foundation. That's first. So we all know you can't build a house from the top down, from the side over. Like, we know we got to start from the bottom and then go up. So we got to have that foundation. And that foundation starts with having the right amount of protection on self. And I'm not just talking about people that, I know a lot of individuals have like their insurance through their job, or they have a life insurance policy on their self, and they just maybe they called their car insurance provider, say, hey, I need some life insurance, give me this. Like, those type of insurance agents are fine, but they're more so order takers. When you're speaking with somebody about your finances, about building your financials from the ground up, you want to make sure that they are serving you, and they are doing what's best for you, and they are assessing you to see what you actually need. So based off of your financial situation, they are giving a policy that's meeting your needs. So that is first. We also have to make sure that after we get from that foundation, we figure out what purpose is. What is our purpose? What's next in line? So we're not going after things in life because of money. Money will come to us once we do the things that we're supposed to do. But we're supposed to be in alignment with what the purpose is, whether that you have a relationship with God and you're doing His will, or you're doing your own will. But whatever it is, the universe will thank you either way. When you give out good is going to come back to you. So making sure your foundation is good and that purpose is good. And then the last thing, which is what the topic of what we're talking about here is your health. So those are the 3 things that I typically say that this is how we start when it comes to financial literacy, because financial literacy is not just about knowing about money. It's way bigger than knowing about money. Way bigger than knowing about money. You have to have other key components before you can even begin to learn about money. So if you don't understand the foundation, if you don't understand your purpose, and if you don't understand what health is and what it means for wellness, then you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble. So like you were saying about the morning routine, and you were talking about even filling up pouring from your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. Nobody can. I'm being taught now to overflow my cup, and I give from my overflow, and not from my cup. I'm actually giving from my overflow. So make sure you're okay first. So those are my steps. Those are my 3 things. Take those things: foundation, your purpose, and health and wellness. And those are the ground steps for financial literacy to get started.
Amazing. So you've worked with hundreds of clients over the years, because again, you're not new to this, you are true to this. But what are some of the challenges, especially around like maybe entrepreneurs you work with, when they start to work with you and then you're starting to see a common thread of issues that they're having as they embark on growing their wealth and growing an understanding of how to navigate their finances? Maybe one or two, max three challenges you're encountering on a daily basis.
Ooh, this is what I tell my students about, my students and my clients about all the time. This one is, oh gosh, it's spending. We have a problem with spending. We spend too much. We spend too fast. And then I gave my students this word. It's called impulse buying. We have to learn how to stop impulse buying. So when we learn how to control our finances, the first step is knowing how to control how much is coming out of your pocket. And you can do that. And I know you guys may feel like, oh, well, I did this, I deserve this. You do. We deserve to have it all. I'm going to tell you the truth. We do. But we have to be wise about situation when it comes to things. A lot of my clients have issues with, they don't even understand how to create their own personal financial budget. How can you run a business and you don't even have a financial budget for yourself? That's like their number one problem. And then it's like creating a budget for your business. They're like, what is that? You got to start with this one first, your personal one, and then you move to the business. But we have to learn how to, the biggest issue is the spending. We don't know how to stop spending. We got to slow down on the money that's coming in. The money that's coming in, we have to grab it, hold on to it, put it in a savings or an investment account. And that has to be another show, Ms. Corey. You have to have me come back on that one to teach you all about which type of vehicles to put your money in for investment accounts and what's the good ones, which ones is giving us the most yield, the most bang for our buck, things like that. But we have to learn how to slow down on the spending first. That's the number one thing. I'm going to tell you guys a little quick story about that and how it's not impossible to do it. My husband and I learned how to live beneath our means during the time where right before COVID. And it's like, I don't know if God was kind of like telling us to get prepared, but I swear it was like we were prepared for COVID, because prior to, I was learning how to live beneath my means. When I say prior to my husband, I mean always. I was in a nail salon every 2 weeks, getting my hair done every 2 weeks. I was but slave all the time. Single mom and all, never missed a beat. But God went him, and I learned how to preserve. I learned how to do things for myself. I learned how to do my own hair. I learned how to paint my own nails. I learned how to do my own pedicure, buy my own little foot soap, soaking my own feet, scrubbing, getting my dead skin off my own feet. I learned how to do it myself. We lived in a trailer, you guys, for 18 months. 18 months, and I learned how to do all those things by myself without having to give away my money. My husband and I were able to save over $80,000 by cutting back and living beneath our means, just so we could prepare ourselves to get above. After that 18-month time frame was over, during that 18-month time frame, we purchased 3 homes with us living beneath our means. And then shortly after that, we purchased 3 more after we had gotten to one of our investment properties to live in. But we learned how to cut down our spending. So that is the number one thing I have with my clients, even with my students that I come and counsel with, the spending. So that's why I'm keeping it. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna even go to a second one, because the number one problem is spending. We got to cut it back.
Woo! I know somebody was triggered. I had to adjust myself in my seat. Like, I know she ain't calling me out, because I had to put my card away right before we got up here. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, let me put this card away, because I'm gonna spend it if I got it. I got it saved on my computer. I just hit this button. It's like, and cha-ching. But I sometimes we gotta be called out, because, and I have to tell my husband this, because he's like, well, I'm working, and I'm like, yeah, but no matter how good we're doing in life, if we continuously spend at the level we're bringing in, we're never going to move ahead. Because I'm telling you, me and you have lived similar lives. I actually used to live in affordable housing. I tell people all the time, I got my car repossessed not once but twice. I was out here just wilding out, spending money, and I had to say, okay. I remember I called my mom one day and said, you know what, I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to start adulting. And she thought that was the weirdest call, but I had just decided in my mind, like you said, learn how to do my own hair, learn how to do my own nails, learn how to, pamper myself so that I could keep that money in-house. And then luckily we were able to save up, not even luckily, but strategically we were able to save up at our first house, after living in the hood for so many years and being able to pay off a car, it can be done. A lot of people are like, how am I supposed to do stuff if I ain't got no money? You gotta learn how to make your money make money. You have to learn how to stretch the money you have. Sometimes we gotta go back to eating bologna with that good old bologna, some noodles and noodles. It happens. And I don't care what nobody thinks, because people want to look like they living with the Joneses, right? They want to pretend that they are the Joneses, but guys, they don't live with you. They don't pay your bills. You know what you desire for yourself. And sometimes you got to take a step back, like you said. And look, if you got to live in a trailer, first of all, trailers are nice these days. But even if you are in an old rinky dink with the cockroaches, whatever you got to do, sometimes that's just a means to an end. You know that you are stepping back to step 10 times forward. So I love that you got real about that, because a lot of people are like, oh, you just invest and it, doubles up. It's like, nah, sometimes we got to make some sacrifices.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we do for the future that we know that we deserve. So I love that. Like I said, I know some of y'all are triggered. Some of y'all feeling some type of way. You'll be okay. She said the truth. And when you sit on it and let it marinate in your spirit a little bit, you will realize that it was all helpful information. And that kind of goes into the next question I have for you, because part of that's mindset, right? We know you have to have an entrepreneurial mindset to be successful. When it comes to finances, you got to have a mindset of prosperity. But you also have to be willing to pivot and adapt, right? And we talked about that. Apparently I put out a post, y'all, some time ago, and we connected on LinkedIn, and she saw it, and she's like, girl, I love that, it resonated with me. I'm like, oh, really? What post? But I was talking about pivoting and adapting, and you kind of touched on that with your COVID story. But tell me a little bit more about why you feel like being able to pivot and adapt is so important for us as entrepreneurs in this financial landscape.
So pivoting, adapting, change, those words are going to happen in entrepreneurship. And we have to really pay attention. And just like I told you guys at the beginning of my story, I started with the financial industry helping adults. And then I heard a cry out for help that another generation needed my help. And I had to create a business to solve a problem. So I had to make a change. Granted, I still serve individuals in the financial realms and adults, but now my target audience is our youth. So not even just that, I had to pivot. I became a women-owned business in a whole different spectrum than from a nonprofit. My husband and I have a government business. We are suppliers for the government. Government say they need something, we go find us a vendor or someone who can fulfill the part of whatever it is that they need. And we say, all right, government, we put our tax on it, and we say, gotcha, here you go. And we deliver it. So I have that business. I also have my insurance broker business. I also have a consulting business. I have all these different businesses because I had to learn how to pivot and flow with where I was going. So sometimes change happened. But for us to get into the government space, we didn't just get into that just because. We started a trucking company. That trucking company didn't last, and it fell through. Like, the industry kind of choked us out. It made us get to a point where we couldn't sustain with the trucking company because low pay went up so high, low pay went down, gas went up sky high. We couldn't keep paying our staff. We couldn't keep doing it. So we had to pivot. And we had to make a change. We had to go ahead, okay, let's get into the government space another way. Let's do it this way, because we were DBE certified with our trucking company, and that's a certification for people that's in the transportation field. We said, okay, well, let's keep that same mindset, and let's get a certification with still in logistics, but let's do something else. We have to learn how to pivot. So understand that comes with entrepreneurship. We have to learn how to pivot. We're going to have to pivot. It happens. But mindset-wise, we have to be prepared and okay, and being accepting to the change, and knowing that this comes with entrepreneurship, and knowing that change is good. I'm just going to say that right now. Change means that you're growing. Change means that better is coming. Change is great. So when change is coming your way, listen and pay attention to the change and just adapt. Let it flow.
Wow, look, I told y'all she was a serial entrepreneur. She out here doing all the stuff. We done got real estate. She done bought 6 houses. She done got a business with a nonprofit. Now we in the government contracts. I'm like, Lordy, let me step my game up. But I love it for you, because I know that when one of us gets up there, they bring the rest of us. So I'm excited. Look, y'all heard her, y'all my witnesses. She said bring her back. I'm already thinking she gonna get a nice little email after this is done. But look, says, like, we definitely need to collaborate a little bit more, talk a little bit more. But you mentioned the government contracts, and I know that you have a government certifications mentorship program. So I want you to, because I know we almost out of time. I know y'all want to know more. I know y'all want to know more. First of all, I put a link tree in the show notes and I put it on the screen. Connect with her. Don't let this be the last time you hear her voice. Reach out, get the information you need, but I only get 30 minutes with it. So we're going to go ahead and let her talk about her government certification mentorship program, because I know you guys want to know about it. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I'll do that quickly. So just to give you guys a little information. So the government space, we do get those things called certifications. So we do have the WOSB, like even behind me, I don't know if you guys can see that WBDC. That's also a part of women-owned industry for us, women-owned businesses. I help with any of those type of certifications, whether it's DBE, whether it's WOSB or WBE, the MBEs, the veteran-owned certifications. There's so many of them, guys. My husband and I help with those. We have a mentorship program that we do assist. We can hold your hand. We basically start with fact finding, figuring out what exactly that you would like to do, what kind of business you have, and we will give you guidance and information on basically where to go. And then we will create you a roadmap to let you know what that looks like. It typically is a year worth of mentorship, and you guys are probably like, a year? Sounds like it's a long time, but I promise you will look up and you will definitely see results while us mentoring you. Because in the government space, I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole. And without the proper mentorship, you can go any which way. And we bumped our head a lot during the time frame, and we want to help individuals to not bump their head so that they can just be successful and see results. We made over 100 figures our first year after having our women's certification. And I know that was one contract. We only had one that was over 6 figures, and then we had a ton of others. So if you guys just keep in mind and understand that it's money, and they allocate it for us for these certifications. Over hundreds of billions of dollars, we get a certain percentage of it. So I want to help individuals to get those certifications so they can get their coins. So we collecting coins. So our mentorship program is just for that. And we do have very flexible pricing for individuals but our top tier program is $15,000 for a year of mentorship. And you get up to 20 hours a week with myself and my husband. We also have courses we have created for you guys to watch on your own. But you also have time to sit with us and talk to us, pick our brain. We give you homework. We expect for you to do the homework, but it's a lot of work. But I guarantee you there's going to be a payoff, and you can definitely see yourself with a 6-figure contract if you do the work.
Wow, that was a lot right there. And I like to shed light on things for my audience, because we're all about affordability and budgets and things over here. Guys, you got to realize how the numbers work. Because I know some of you are thinking, like, she said 15,000. I think not. First of all, she also said before that she got one contract in her first year that was over $100,000. Invest $15,000 so that you don't have to troubleshoot, figure it out on your own. You get the support. We talked about you need that leg of stool. You need that supportive community. You need the people that know the things that can move you there faster. So she had to learn herself and got $1,000 on the first contract. Now with you having a team behind you, people that's telling you, do X, Y, and Z, do A, B, and C, do it in this order, do it this way, this is where you find your stuff, this is how you set it up, this is how you do all the things. Come on now, y'all. Because I think we got to stop thinking that affordable or budget-friendly means $5. There, just be honest with you guys. You got to pay to play. I had a client that went into government contracts, and I think it was her second year. She was doing almost $10 million in revenue. The money's out there. The money's out there. But I know her first year, she really struggled. She ended up maxing out all her credit cards. She was struggling. She was burnt out. She was frustrated. She was just, y'all, she was pulling her hair out. It was crazy. So imagine that she had someone like Danielle and her team to talk her through it. It would have been a lot less traumatic experience that first year. So I just want to throw that out there, because I know some of you don't know how much it costs to play the game. She's marketing herself very undervalued by saying just 15,000. Because I know some other people that don't look like us that would have charged that 1K. I mean 100K to just to have a conversation and get up in the doors. So you are allowing access to people who may not even have had access into the space and giving them what sounds like some amazing tools. I'm definitely going to look into more of what you do. I pulled up your link tree while you were talking. She has her nonprofit stuff up there. She has 2 other businesses. She has her social media. Connect, follow, share, subscribe, do all the things, because as you see this amazing woman and her, like, I'm going to throw your husband in there because she mentioned it. Her husband and their team, they are absolutely fabulous. I'm just so honored that we even got to connect. Look, shout out LinkedIn, but I'm excited that this is just the beginning. Y'all gonna keep seeing her face in the IROC world because she's absolutely amazing, and she drops some amazing gems, strategies, tips, and just levels of understanding that we may not even have thought of until now. So I want to thank you. Is there any last little words you want to say before we end our broadcast for today?
I'm going to start with some encouragement, because I know there's a lot of like entrepreneurs that may be on listening, some that may be at a point where they don't know where they want to go or how to start. I'm just going to leave with this. Where I'm trying to figure out, don't let me lose my train of thought. Hold on. So manufacturers of cars, I'm going to at least start there. They make cars. They make them safe, but sometimes they don't make them perfect. They put them on a road, and then they send you a letter with this thing called a recall. And that means, hey, I made this car, but I didn't make it perfect. I wasn't afraid to make it, but I got it started and I got it rolling and I sold it. But then I realized that I made a mistake and I needed to fix it. That word change. So I told you to come back and let me recall it so I can fix it. They fix it and put it back on the road. So do that same thing with your business. Do not allow fear. Do not allow doubt. Do not allow anything stop you from putting what you have to deliver and put out and grow, and whatever you have to build and you got to make, whatever your business is, make it happen. And then if you have to go through during a time frame and do your recalls, do your changes, make sure you make your changes and your recalls once you've already started rolling.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Like, start now. Start now. Start scared. Start now.
Yes.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of the IROC Business with Confidence podcast. This has been such a pleasure, and this is just the beginning. Remember, we drop a new episode every single week where we bring on an amazing expert, just like you guys saw today, that will help you implement strategies to further along your business as you navigate this world of entrepreneurship. Till next time, guys, remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. Talk to you soon. And that's a wrap on another episode of IROC Business with Confidence podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining our journey into the world of entrepreneurship. If today's episode inspired you or just gave you the tools to tackle your next business challenge, we'd love your support. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, and rate us with a glowing 5 stars. And don't forget to leave us a review. Are you an entrepreneur with a unique perspective, expertise, or actionable strategies that our audience can implement today to advance their entrepreneurial journey? We're always on the lookout for guests who are ready to share their stories and insights. If that's you, please reach out to us. Remember, entrepreneurship isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And here at IROC Business with Confidence, we're here to journey with you. Until next time, keep rocking your business with confidence. We can't wait to see where your entrepreneurship journey takes you next.